Hi guys. Well, welcome back to the Pretty Little Book Nerds podcast. I'm Genevieve.
I'm Danielle.
This is the first time we're showing our faces.
Yes.
Yeah, so we read last month because it came out last month. I'm just gonna hop right in.
Yeah, because I don't know where to start. So okay, that sounds good. We're still getting used to this.
Yeah, definitely still getting used to the podcasting vibes. So last month it came out March 13th, right?
Somewhere around there.
Yeah. So Laurie Gilmore, who does the Dream Harbor series, which I know we talked about in our intro episode, so it's kind of nice. We read her book, The Strawberry Patch Pancake House, which is the 4th installment in the Dream Harbor series, and we only have one more.
Yeah, I'm sad about that.
I'm very upset. I don't know what we're gonna have to have like a funeral for the Dream Harbor book series.
It doesn't make sense to me because I feel like there's other characters they can bring in, especially when you look at the map and it's like, well, who works at the flower shop? Who works at the ice cream shop? Did they find love yet? Like, what's going on in their lives?
It is also the thing of how many new people can you bring into this tiny town before it just, I don't know, overflows with I don't know, romance.
What if there's no new people and just, the owners fall in love with each other?
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not? Yeah, I want to say, obviously, with like there being one more, I don't want to jump the gun or anything, but I think this one was my favorite so far.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that's so funny because this one was my least favorite.
Oh, really?
Yes. So this book is about Iris, who is the woman who helped Kira, the Christmas tree farm owner. She did like this wreath making class and like I think a yoga classes too that got Kira kind of out of her shell and like made her leave her house and farm to get out there and meet people. And then she meets Archer, who is a new character in town. He finds out he has a kid with a woman who passed away in the town, and Iris becomes the nanny and takes care of the 5-year-old. While Archer is the new cook at this local diner, and he's like a world-renowned, what was he, like a 2-star Michelin cook?
Like French chef or something.
Something like that. Sorry, cat just jumped on the bed and
no, you're good.
Yeah, so they meet and what else was I gonna say? Yeah, sorry, I was reading my notes.
No, you're good.
You can cut that part out.
I read a little bit of like the acknowledgments at the back. And the author talked about how she based her male main character on Carmy from The Bear.
Oh, I read that too, which I've never read The Bear or watched The Bear, duh.
I have watched almost all of it because Josh is obsessed with it. He loves it so much.
Oh, that sounds like him. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, and it's kind of the same vibe of like Carmy comes back home and has to help out with the family like deli basically, even though he's worked like all over everywhere, and is like kind of too good for this place, which I feel like is definitely Archer at the beginning of this book. The only difference I would say though is that Carmi does not have any romance arc in the show. So thankfully we get some romance here.
I'll have to watch that show. Yeah. But so I guess what I I mean, I still gave it like 4 stars on Goodreads, but I felt like they kept talking about having a professional relationship and he's her boss, blah blah blah. And I was like, she's only the nanny, which I guess is like that could easily be a gross relationship, but he was single and
Yeah, but
she
there's
just
also
kind of
like
needed a place to live, and I felt like that was repetitive though, that they were talking about it.
I felt that was, while it was repetitive, I definitely think it was very realistic too, though, because like you wouldn't just kind of like, have that thought like fly through your head of like, is this appropriate? Is this not appropriate? It is something that over time would come up, more and more, especially like in a situation like this where like they are living together and there's a kid involved, which I think talking about that and putting a lot of weight on the fact that there's a kid involved and that has to be the number one priority. I think that was actually very mature for a romance book, because normally romance books are like, well, that shouldn't matter because it's love and all that stuff, but they're like, no, there's a kid and we need to put the kid first kind of vibe.
Yeah, I agree with
So
that. I thought like one of the characters having a kid was very realistic. Um, and I think it was in the acknowledgments too, that she talked about like that it was very hard to have it be a romance book, but then also talk about the kid.
yeah,
Olive. Yeah, I
yeah,
just
the
remembered her
kid.
name.
um and like they talk about it in the book too, of like um romance books with kids sometimes can't be super romantic because there's a kid involved. But I think what this book series especially, and maybe you'll disagree with me, but what I think this book series does really well is realistic romance, of like,
Yeah.
it's not, some like whirlwind situation. Like they're genuinely considering like pros and cons. Will this work? Will this not work? Like actually putting every part of their life into perspective. Um, and most romances do not do that. So
Yeah. I agree. I didn't have anything to add.
I don't know. I know you
Um,
have notes. So
yeah. So I put oh yeah, no one likes his pancakes, so he's like desperately trying to find this like um pancake recipe for this diner, and he's like making her pancakes every night to try them and stuff, and it was very cute because it was like after Olive went to bed and just the two of them talking. um it's definitely a slow burn romance
oh
because they're
yeah.
both thinking of the daughter. um I thought having a kid in the mix gives it more of a realistic and original idea too.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because I don't know how old Iris is. Like from the third book, for some reason I thought she was like early 20s, but I think Archer is like early 30s or something. I don't know. I just kind of seemed like he was
Older.
much older than her.
Yeah.
Like not, I mean, early 30s is not old, but you know what I mean.
No. But older than what we thought Iris was.
Yeah. Um, and then they acted like a family when they were out in public and went to um the festivals together and any kind of
Mm-hmm.
events that were in town. and everybody could see it except
Them.
them. And they thought they were being sneaky, but I guess they like held hands a couple times, or like
Yeah.
she held onto his finger or something, and everybody knew what was going on. But
Hmm.
um yeah, and then what do you think about Archer's olive branch tattoo and the mom naming the daughter Olive?
Yeah, I thought that that was a very interesting like thing to add on to his character, because it shows that there was, more of a connection between, and obviously not not a forever and ever romance connection, like romantic connection between him and the mom, but it showed that they like she put some thought into the fact that like, oh, he's not just some random guy that's out there in the world, like it's my daughter's dad.
Mm-hmm.
um and I think there was like a joke in there where it was like, thank God you didn't have like a whisk tattoo or something.
Oh yeah.
And I really appreciated that joke um in there.
Yeah, I forgot about that. And then they were like making up names too
Hmm.
that it could be.
Even though I can't remember, oh, this is a spoiler, 1000% spoiler, sorry. um but I can't remember what they ended up naming their son. But I remember thinking that in comparison to Olive, I was like, this is such a boring name. But
Oh
it also goes
really?
back,
I don't
yeah.
remember either.
But
Was it
I
in
also
the
know like,
bonus?
no, it was like the I think it was in the like epilogue,
All right.
maybe. There, yeah. But it like I've had so many conversations. I think I've had this conversation with you of like, it's so easy to be super creative with like girl names. It's really difficult to be creative with boy names. There's just not a lot you can do there.
Oh, it's Owen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also I don't like when parents do the like or when people, I'm going to stay out of this. Sorry. When people do the like same letter starting with all like with their kids
I don't like it
names.
either.
Okay,
I
good.
hate it.
Whew. Okay. Um yeah, so oh my gosh, why am I getting so many text messages right now? Sorry. Um yeah, so that kind of I felt like there was just so much more room to be like creative with the name, but once again, boy names are really difficult to be creative with. So maybe that's just the problem. But yeah, that was my 2 cents on that.
Yeah. Um, no, I completely agree too. Uh, I thought it was cute that like um Archer gets Olive a bunny at the end,
Hmm.
which I was expecting the bunny to show up earlier in the book. Like not so early, but not at the very end and stuff, because I mean
Yeah,
there's a bunny on
the
the
cover.
cover. Like Laurie Gilmore or always puts some kind of animal on the cover, and it's like, well, where does the
Hmm.
bunny come in? I don't know if I'm like too obsessed with the animal on the cover. Like when you sent me the
Oh yeah,
fifth
when we
book
were
and I
just,
was like
yeah,
kittens and you had no idea what I was
I
talking
had
about.
no clue. I mean, they were so tiny on that cover too. Like, I hadn't really like looked at the cover for the next one. I had just sent it to you because I think I was like trying to make sure we both knew the date that the next one comes out. And so, yeah, and then all of a sudden I just get this text where I think you sent it to me like in all caps. You were like, kittens. And I was like, I'm like, am I missing something? Is something going on over there? I was like, did you get a kitten? I was like, what's going on? But
No, we definitely did not get a kitten. Dan's like, no more cats.
I keep making the joke to Josh though that we should have like a shared cat between between our families, like shared custody cat.
Dan would not go for that.
I don't think Josh would either. He does not enjoy my fifth cat jokes.
And then also, like, I feel like the spice was only okay compared to some of the other ones.
Yeah, I agree with that. It wasn't super, like, I don't, in your face. I don't want to word it that way, but
I mean, I guess I appreciate that too. It doesn't really matter to me, I guess. But just compared to the other ones, I was like, oh, it's more tame, I guess.
Yeah.
I would say.
And that actually goes back to what I said before we started filming, which is the one thing that I did with this book that I have not done for like pretty much any of the books that I have, which is I highlighted something. And yeah, so I highlighted a part in this book, and just shows how awful I am during my free periods at work, because I was like so close to the end of this book. I was way ahead of you. And so I couldn't text you and tell you about it either. And gosh, speaking of cats, and so I was reading it, and I was subbing in a science class that day. There were no students there, but there was also no highlighter. So I ran next door to the first grade classroom, and thank God there was nobody in there. But I run in there and I'm like, can I please borrow a highlighter? She thought I was out of my mind. And she was like, yeah, go ahead, it's right there. And so I grab it and I like quickly highlight it, and then I drop it off. I'm like, thank you. And I run out. Because I was genuinely like, I think I had like only like 2 or 3 chapters left at the end. And so I was like, I have to finish this before I see more students. I was like trying to fly through it. Of course, I can't remember it word for word, but what I remember highlighting was where it talked about how, like, and it's going to sound so stupid coming out of my mouth because it's not word for word as it was written in the book, but where it was like Archer has tasted so many delicious foods and things all over the world and all this, but
oh my God,
Iris was the best taste he'd ever had, or something like that. I was like, that the way it was worded was just, I don't know why, I just really loved it. And so that is the only part of the book that I have highlighted.
I remember that part.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's interesting.
I always love when, especially in romances, when the author writes something that is maybe kind of like a generic part of like every romance book or something, but they just make it sound so different and so unique and like, just, I don't know, so like good.
Yeah, like just one original little thought,
Yeah,
can bring so much to a book. Like I know I'm getting ahead of myself because at the end we want to talk about the books that we've finished and are reading, but I just read The Story of My Life, like the newest Lucy Score book. And
okay, yeah.
It's actually going to be a series too. So this is the first one, and I'm so excited because she like built up this little town, and it's the main male character is he has 2 other brothers and a sister. So it's gonna be like their love interest. Each book is about different characters.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I know that's not really an original idea, but I love it. I loved this book so much.
Yeah, there's a book or a book series that's kind of that same idea, and of course I haven't started it yet. But I'm trying to pull something up on my computer at the same time so I don't forget that I have it. But It's this book series is called the series is called The Green Sisters, and it's by Christina Forrest, and each book is the love story of one of the sisters. So it's like I know one of them's called The Partner Plot. The Love Lyric is the newest one, and I know there's another one that I cannot remember, but yeah, those are, I've heard, are good books. And I actually got to meet Christina Forrest at this like Galentine's Day event thing that this local bookstore did back in February, and she was so sweet. She was genuinely like the sweetest person I've ever met. So
I think you got these when we were together.
did I?
Because I remember the cover of the Neighbor Favor, and
that's the one, yeah, because
they looked really good.
Yeah, because I needed like the last one, because I don't like to start a book series unless I have all of them. Which is bad then if I like hate the first book, but you know.
Because I'm completely opposite. I'll buy the first one, and then if I like it, I'll buy the second one. If I hate the first one, I'm just giving it away or something.
Yeah. But yeah,
my cats are being bad.
Oh. My cat's like, one of them is underneath the bed, the other one is sitting on Josh's side of the bed. Because she likes to be close, but not too close.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's antisocial for sure. But yeah, I'm excited to read that book series, and because I don't think I've talked about this on here. I don't think I talked about it on like our little intro thing, but for those of you that are watching this and don't know us, I'm on bed rest. So yeah, I had ankle surgery, so I'm kind of confined to my house, and I'm trying to be better about not watching as much TV. I've watched a lot of TV since last week when I had my surgery, and I now need to like start picking up some books and like reading.
Well, we are going to read before I butcher it again, unintended. What the heck was the book's name?
It's the Butcher and Blackbird.
Okay.
We keep calling it Butcher and Blackbeard, or I do. I don't know if you just called it Butcher and Beard or something, but
whenever I typed it in to like borrow it from the library, I typed in Blackbeard and Butcher too. So yeah. But that's gonna be our next book, and then I think I'm gonna read, because you already read The Inmate on your own, and I actually have it, so I'm gonna start that too, and then we can do an episode on that one.
I will warn you, I finished that book in 2 days.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, like it's insanely hard to put down.
Oh, okay.
And I'm actually, it's definitely gonna have to be a spoiler because we're gonna have to talk about it if you read it. I'm very excited to see your reaction to the end of the book. The last, like literally the last chapter.
I feel like there has to be spoilers, because then what are we gonna talk about?
Exactly. Like we can't like talk about a book without spoiling something about it for somebody.
Talking about the ending. So if you really want to read a book that we're doing an episode on,
this is
you should read it beforehand.
Yeah. Okay, should we talk about our personal reads? Should we get to that action?
Yes.
Yeah. What am I not reading right now? Let me see here. I'm actually, because I'm really hoping that I can join this local, I was talking about it before, this local, oh my gosh, this local book club. I think my brain is just not working. This local book club. And so they're meeting in May to talk about The Bodyguard by Catherine Center. So I'm probably going to start that soon. And then I have also been reading this super adorable book called She and Her Cats, a collection of stories. And so it's four chapters, and each chapter follows basically the life of a cat and its owner. And it's just so cute. I love it so much. Like, I want a million more of them because they're just so precious. And it's really short too. It's like 135 pages. Yeah, and so it's really, really short. The thing that I do with all of the books that I read, the Strawberry Patch Pancake House, the song of the book, the song called 2 a.m. By a band called Girlfriends. I feel like that song just really resonates with this book in terms of like the sweetness of it. So yeah, it's a really good song. Go check it out. I finished Final Girl Support Group. It was okay. I was kind of bummed. I was honestly kind of bummed. And if you want like my full reviews, go look on Goodreads because I'm just not gonna re-go through those. There's no point. And then the song for that book was Survivor by Destiny's Child. Just felt right. It's literally about like the final girls of all of these like murderers being like attacked and targeted again. So that song felt perfect. And then I read The Inmate by Frida McFadden. We'll talk about that later, so I will not talk about what my song of the book for that one was. But yeah, I have a lot of books I want to read while I'm out. ACOTAR being one of them.
Yes.
So.
Yes. You have to.
Okay.
I want to read it again too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I read it like the beginning of last year, maybe. Some of them were in, I guess, 2023 too, but.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fantasy person. Like this one book that I tried to read, I literally texted you and I was like, how much of it do I have to read before I can DNF it? Like I can't read any more of this. And it's not even like full fantasy. I just couldn't do it. So I don't know.
Well, you said it was boring too.
It was real boring. Yeah. It was just so slow. But
forgot what book it was.
It's called Book Boyfriends.
Oh.
Book Boyfriend, my bad. And I'd actually been really excited about it when I heard that it was coming out. And it really let me down. So
did you DNF it or are you giving it another?
I can't do any. It was so boring. It was just so slow. But tell me what you're reading.
Right now I'm only in Thunderhead, which is the second book of the Scythe series. It's a YA series about like dystopian times. It's so good. They're by Neil how do you pronounce his last name? Schusterman? Maybe?
Okay.
Hang on. Yeah, Schusterman, something like that. I finished over the weekend The Story of My Life, and oh my gosh, what? Sorry. Let me look. Oh, A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire. I'm like looking for it, but it was on Audible, so that's why I can't find it. Which that is also the second book in the Blood and Ash series by
Sarah J. Maas, right?
No, this is somebody else.
Oh, I thought it was the same author as ACOTAR. Okay.
Of Flesh. It's Jennifer Armentrout. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the second book. Which those I've read or listened to on Audible, and like the narrator is so good that they chose. Like it's so easy to listen to. And this one, I think even if I set it at like 1.4 speed, it's like over 15 hours or something.
Oh my god.
They're really long.
Yeah. Okay.
And then maybe a week ago or something, I finally finished Onyx Storm, which is the third
Oh, nice.
book
Okay.
of the Fourth Wing series, and I gave it 2 stars. I'm like mad at it that it was so boring. I don't know how it got published the way it is. Like,
Oh, that sucks.
I don't know. And I feel like it's pretty divided on Goodreads too. Like people either love it or have the same opinions that I do, that it was just ridiculously long. And I think they so for the first like 250 pages, it's like this group, they have to like travel here to get something and then travel here for something else. And so they're like bouncing back and forth all over this region. And so I read it with my friend Brittany, and we were talking about it, and we're both like, what's happening now? Like, we don't know where they're at. We don't know what's going on. And then later on, one of the guys in it actually makes a joke that they're like the quest team because they kept going on all these quests, which was funny, but it was like, okay, I want part of my life back. Which I will buy and read the fourth book because you kind of have to when you're this
Yeah.
invested. Um, yeah, so I'm planning on starting. We're gonna start Butcher and Blackbeard, and then
Blackbird.
Blackbird. Oh my gosh, I had it in front of me. Man, I thought I was doing good. Um, I'm gonna start the Inmate 2, and then I need, what romance should I?
You need a well, technically, Butcher and Blackbird is a romance.
But isn't it like a dark romance?
It's two serial killers that fall in love with each other.
Oh, okay. I'm like, oh, okay.
Um,
I might also start, is it the third book? Yeah, The Blast from the Past. So the third book of the Riley Thorne series.
oh, is that like the dead guy next door and all that?
Yeah,
Or okay,
yeah.
you really liked that one, didn't you?
I really liked the first one. The second one, I feel like I didn't like just because I listened to it on Audible and the narrator like made it sound so cheesy
Mm.
and stuff, but then I kept thinking about it afterwards, like, okay, the storyline was really good, so I think it was just, um,
Like
you know,
pacing.
the Audible that killed it,
Oh, got
or
it,
the
got it. Yeah,
audiobook that killed it. Yeah.
yeah. I'm definitely like I've thought about that with like being concerned that that's going to happen with the next Christmas romance from Megan Quinn. Since that first audiobook, the like How My Neighbor Stole Christmas or whatever, like that
Mhm.
audiobook was so good. I'm worried that the one that comes out this year is not going to be as good.
Oh,
I'm concerned, but yeah.